All right, how are we doing here, folks? Need to see if this is working because YouTube, it looks like they changed up a bunch of stuff again. And I was having a hard time setting this up. Is it cold? Yes, it's cold. How are you, Teresa? Off-grid suburban project. Wow. All right. Hey, Leroy, what's going on, buddy? Man, it's done. This has changed everything. Hmm. Gotta love YouTube, man. Every time I turn around, something's changing. I had a hard time. I was surprised I was going to get to even do this. So yeah, I was a little early um, because I wanted to make sure that I could get this going. I was, like I said, when I was scheduling it earlier, they've made a few changes and I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know if this would work or not. What's up, Red Rooster? What's going on? Teresa, it's cold outside, so we probably won't get back down to the cabin for a while. I know it's reaching that point. I won't be doing as much here because it is cold. Next week is supposed to be in the teens next weekend. But I plan on leaving next Sunday. I don't know if I'll get to do a live stream or not next week. I'm leaving early Sunday morning to go down to Alabama with Gary. Spend a few days down there at his place with him finally. All right. See, I don't even get now. It doesn't tell me how many thumbs up I've got and nothing. What anybody's doing. Holy cow. And the light's going to be changing because I have the TV on while I'm doing this. I got to watch the Big Ten Championship. Hey, what's going on, Bill? Russell, what's up, my friend? Red Rooster, yeah, winter does, like you said, changes everything. Dang. I can't believe Off-Grid Suburban Project got 8-foot 2x4s. Wow, $40. Oh, I thought those were 2x8s. 2x4s for $40. Amazing. 1 second after, what's going on, my friend? All right. Go Buckeyes. So I have to keep an eye on the game. It is kind of embarrassing, even when I was out here and I was off grid before I even got electric. I had high-speed internet and cable, streaming television out here in my off-grid cabin retreat. This is so different. I don't know what they did here. The last wood I bought was stamped from Switzerland. From Switzerland? Jeez. How much was it? Does this look like it's working any better? Extreme is healthy. Hmm. Malachi's Corner wanders in. Can everybody hear me? I need a mic check. Mic check, mic check. Oh, sounds good. Okay. Hey, Carol, what's going on, bud? All right. Thank you, Bill. Malachi's Corner wanders in. This is where you wander to. I'm drinking coffee. I'll tell you what, as cold as it is, I should be drinking coffee. But I got my Dr. Pepper, so that'll work. All right. I'm glad everybody can hear me then. Let's see, what Carol say? 38 female here. No, I'm only kidding. 38 Fahrenheit. It's 32 here. So I went to the lumberyard, told a guy I need 10 4x2s. He said, do you mean 2x4s? So that would probably work. 2. He said, how long do you need them? He said, how long do you need them? I said, get long. I'm kind of confused, bud. Hey, Mountain Man, what's going on, my friend? Bridge Runner is too cold for fighting. It is too cold for fighting. It's too cold for anything. But next weekend is going to be worse, but I'll be down in Alabama, so it won't be as bad, I hope. If I got a regular generator, will that work for charging a solar generator? Sure it would. Absolutely. It sure will do it for you. Morgan's North Carolina Adventure. Hello, hello, hello. Thought this show was starting at 9. I was mentioning before, YouTube changed a bunch of stuff, and I was having all kinds of trouble setting this up. I couldn't get it to set up right. And the first time I was trying to do it, it said 9 o'clock. My Saturday night shows are always 8 o'clock. Then Wednesday night on my SBA prepping channel, they're 9 o'clock. But I scheduled this 2 or 3 times, had to go back and delete the other one, then set it up again, then delete that, till I finally got it to kind of work. Okay, that is a conversation in Ed's group chat. Oh, yeah, you absolutely can. You charge them off of electric. The generator produces electric. So it's not a problem at all. Those solar generators are not generators, right? And a lot of people are buying those things based on the fact that they're solar generators. They don't generate anything. They're nothing but a battery bank. Just like my battery bank over here. I can use my generator to charge that battery bank or the sun if it's out. So the solar generators do nothing but store energy in a battery. That's all. So anything that produces electric will charge one of those power banks, battery banks, solar banks. That's supposed to be a joke. That was an interesting joke. I went back and reread it. Say puppies. Yeah, I know. That I should get an inverter generator. Well, the inverter generators are nice. I'll explain to you real quick the difference in case nobody on that end explained it to you. A generator generates AC, your regular everyday, pour gasoline in it or diesel or whatever. It generates AC. So it runs at 3,600 RPMs nonstop so that it can generate the 110 voltage that you need. An inverter generator is a lot quieter because it generates DC and the inverter creates the AC output. So it's only running at the RPMs it needs for the load it's running. A regular generator doesn't care how much load is on it, it runs at the exact same speed constantly. Inverter generators run at variable RPMs, and the inverter is what gives you your AC. So it doesn't matter which one you use, they're both giving you the 110 you need to charge your solar generator thing. The inverter generators are just quieter. That's the biggest difference between. I have both. Yeah, now the lithium batteries charge at a higher rate. Either, you can charge a lithium battery with a regular 12-volt battery charger. It just won't charge it to its complete capacity. It will charge it only to about 85%. If you have the lithium charger, then it pumps more juice into it and will charge it up to 100% capacity. So you don't have to buy a special charge controller for it, but it helps too. Red Rooster, what's the latest progress at SBA? It's cold. I'm staying warm in the cabin. No, I put out a video yesterday because I got all the snow packed, and we got 5, 6 inches of snow out here Tuesday. And everybody was saying my little roof system would fail once it got packed with snow. So I came out, looked at it, did the video yesterday, dry as can be. It did exactly what I said it was going to do. As the snow melted, it ran down and dripped out just like a gutter system. Well, I got a regular dual fuel generator. It'll work perfectly, Kim. Don't worry about it. That will charge it. All you need is 110 volts of AC. That charges whatever you want it to charge. That's a great one to get. I want a dual fuel. I was just talking about that, I think, Wednesday night on my other live stream. I wish I could get a dual fuel. Slot of the solar generators need a pure sine wave. The pure sine waves are better, but I've used both. I don't, I haven't had a problem using my generator. A lot of what I ran in here before I got electric was the generator, regular old Champion 4,000 watt generator. Of course, I did have a pure sine wave inverter. There is something to be said for that. That radiant heater would be ideal in that home. Yes. A 2,500 watt pure sine wave dual fuel generator cost me less than $300. No kidding. Ship me one of those, Bill. Like I said, Russell, I've used my regular generator to charge up my solar generators. They're not the big ones now, you know. It's uh, you know, you don't go directly from the generator. Well, you do. You know, you can just plug that solar generator into the generator. It has its own charge controller inside the solar generator, which can handle pure sine wave or just regular sine wave. It's not charging the batteries, it's sending AC to the charge controller in the solar generator, then it uses it to charge the battery. Hey Lisa, how you doing? Uh, well, it comes to worse, I'll run the Jackery as a go between for the big solar generator. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a problem. I'm not an engineer now. Don't get me wrong. I am no expert, but I haven't had an issue doing it. I've had to charge my solar generators with my regular generator, and I haven't had an issue that I know of. My opinion, a DIY solar system better than a solar generator because if one solar generator component goes out, you're screwed. A DIY you can replace individual parts. And I own an Echo Delta Pro. Exactly, 100% correct there. Morgan's North Carolina Adventures. I did a whole video on those things, and I said that exact same thing. If that inverter goes bad, if the charge controller goes bad, if the battery goes bad, whatever might go bad in that solar generator, the whole thing is gone then. The better BM need clean power. I agree with that. 100%, Russell. I'm not going to argue that. It makes more sense than what I said. Uh, that's why, that's why I threw it out there. I'm not a I'm not an engineer. I just know what I've done, and it's worked for me. But now the battery management systems are in, all of the lithium batteries. I think there's a difference because the power is coming to an inverter or to a charge controller. It's not coming directly to the battery. It's going through a charge controller, which then sends out the power to the battery in the solar generator. Yeah, you'll appreciate that for your coffee. Yeah, winds aren't that bad. I forget what that, I have one that works, not works, who was it? Somebody sent me one, a 2250 inverter generator. I love the thing. Gary used to take it down to Alabama till he got power run. They do a good job. Okay, I got a couple here, Russell, that need servicing. Let me know when you can swing by, buddy. Yeah, that would be fun to do a gasifier. You used to say that used to be a real popular thing to build, but then I see less and less and less of people doing that. Hey Frank, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, buddy. All right, so I'm on my way. Okay. I can need some electrical help in the house anyway. Now I started tearing out the walls. I was trying to shoot some video uh, of the walls coming down, but I think it was too cold. I've had one in the shop for 3 months. Wow. I think generators are one of those things. There's only two things that can go wrong with it, and both of those are expensive. If you clean the spark arrestor, if you clean the charge control, or you clean the carburetor, keep the oil in it fresh, you shouldn't ever have a problem with the generator. Now, I wouldn't mind having one key start. Yeah, $349 is not a bad price. I mean, I'm good to go on generators. I believe in having extras, and I mean, I can repair my own depending on what it is. I mean, I've got a lawnmower down there that the motor still works great, but the chassis gone to hell. But it's a good motor, and I was considering mounting that somehow and putting it on a generator or an alternator from a car. Use that lawnmower engine to run the alternator, car alternator, and then charge batteries with it. Yeah, I'd love to have a remote start. Anytime I needed it here, I would have to go out to the shed, pull the handle, and get it to start. Because I've had a couple of times here when I was on solar, and we would go through days like this where you can't get any charge really. And during the night, I would find out, okay, I got to have the generator going. And I'd have to get dressed and walk around to the power shed, start the generator, and then come back in. Well, I need one at Ed's. My solar generators work well for a day, but the second day I'm running out of power. Yeah, generator will do you good. I mean, if I was at Ed's, I mean, have you considered, uh, running it up and using Ed's? Because Ed's, especially now, he's got to run his generator a lot to keep his batteries going. He's got a generator there. You should all be able to use it. I would think. I don't know. That's just me. Russell, they make a kit for that. For doing the engine and alternator to do it, like I was going to try to make one. Ed wouldn't charge too much. Too far. It's like way down the hill for me. Oh, yeah, you're on the other side over there. I forgot about that. Well, Kim, when you get ready to put in your own little solar system there at Ed's, I will gift you something I kind of started with. It's four 150-watt solar panels and a charge controller and an inverter. Uh, You get a couple batteries. I'll give you the solar panels, the inverter, and the charge controller, and we can get that set up for you. Old Roscoe. I've got a supposed to be 1252 cycle generator. It will make a pot of coffee and run the TV when the power goes out. It's actually more 950 watts. The power hardly ever goes out here. I hear you. Uh, how's the temps in the cabin? Oh, Nick, it's fine. It's nice and warm in here. I'm enjoying the challenge of building it. It is fun. I did that. That's what I did here for a long time. As for your sub panel, I would eat the cost and go 120, 240. But whatever you go with 80% of the main breaker over 35 years in that line. Yeah, what I'm thinking is, I mean, I have enough power. I ran lines back there. I was going to run 240 for the dryer. That's what that 10-3 wire was for. Was for a dryer. But I'm going to get a 110 volt dryer. We just need a small dryer. We're not a big family anymore once we move out here. And I only ran enough back for one bedroom. That's all I was going to have back there. Well, now I've got two bedrooms. Both are going to have exterior doors with lights and Alex's TV and his computers and all that kind of stuff. And so I need to run a couple of more circuits back there. And what I was thinking, rather than try to fish, because I got all the insulation and everything up now, versus trying to fish more wire back through the whole house, if I just took that 10-3 wire, put it in a sub panel of some sorts, and then run 2 or 3 circuits out of that to take care of the extra that I need back there. I didn't know if that would work or not. Any problems with the refrigerator? No, Lisa, it came back just perfect. Actually, I unplugged it. You know, I let the cabin come back up to temperature. I mean, it was like 34 when I got here. I plugged the refrigerator back in. It's now running better than it did because there is no noise whatsoever. And everything, what I'd done, I got my groceries here, and I have a freezer bag that Gail, when I brought stuff from the house out in the freezer bag. Well, I took all that stuff and put it in the freezer bag and put it on the porch to wait and see what my freezer was going to do. But the refrigerator and freezer, they weren't great now. So I guess it just was the ambient temperature got too cold. It wouldn't kick on, and what was inside it thawed out. Yeah, coffee makers suck down some juice. I tried to make a pot of coffee in a drip coffee maker with the first little power bank thing that I got. I think it was like a 300 watt hour power bank. I tried to do a coffee pot and it used up everything it had. That's like, I mean, you know, you think about it, coffee pots, toasters, you know, they use a lot of power to run. You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Yeah, we ran 10-3 wire back there. I bought it. It's the same wire, actually, that I bought to run from, because the way I did my cabin here when I ran electric to the property, I have a 30 amp breaker out there at the meter, at the uh, cutoff switch. I have a 30 amp breaker in there, and I got that 10-3 wire that I ran to the cabin I have an RV plug on the outside of the cabin. I just made an extension cord and plugged it in, and it's been perfect ever since. Hey Jeff from Michigan, how you doing, buddy? Pretty cold up there. Y'all need stovetop percolate. Absolutely, I got one of those. And Bill, I have a couple of the butane powered stovetops too. I like those. I really did. I mean, now I have electric stovetop, but I like those gas ones. Yes, Jeff, that's exactly right. I mean, I got the electric and I can build a fire. I can cook over that. I have the butane. I have a couple of small twigs, you know, the camping backpacking stoves I can just use twigs with. That does good. You got to have redundancy. Teresa, my small AC actually uses less power than my coffee pot and the microwave is a high wattage appliance. Yeah, the AC only pulls the electric when the compressor's on. It's like the refrigerator. Russell, the 10.3 is only good for 30 amps, and in a sub panel you can only use 80%. That's fine. That's all I'll need. I was only going to bring it off a 30 amp breaker. Uh, I'm going to need a lighting surface uh, circuit, which is 14 gauge wire, and the 20 volt. I'll have two 20-volt circuits, and I'll have a 10-volt circuit off of that sub panel. Everything else is still coming out of the main panel. I mean, I have enough electric for that. So I mean, and uh, I mean, I got all those lights and receptacles in the barn, and I only sent 50 amps to it. It just I don't I don't see the. It may have been Russell who made a comment. Somebody made a comment that you know code keeps going up, and you have to have went from 100 amp service to 200 amp service for insurance companies' purposes, something like that. Hot plate and grill are my go-tos. Yes, I've got the grill out there. I've got a Blackstone. I mean, I got propane. So yeah, we have plenty of ways to cook. Yes, Lisa, rocket stove. I could build a rocket stove out there in 2 minutes and cook with that. Butane cook stove, yep, a wood stove and lunchbox cookers. Yeah, I mean, we're all ready. We all know how to be, this whole group knows how to be preppers. And that's one of the reasons for I'm going to do a video on my prepping channel uh, to have as many canned goods as you can, the canned meats and the soups and the beans and every the canned stuff, you don't even have to cook that. If you don't have a way to cook, you could open up the can and have some great protein, even if you didn't have a way to cook it. I'm still trying to find a cheap 20. Good luck on that. Those are not easy to find. I ain't buying that shit about Campbell's, Nick. I'm not. I've had Campbell's soup my entire life. You know what? I just people go too crazy over that stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, if you got freeze dried foods and can heat up water, that's definitely the best way to go, but it ain't cheap, the cheapest way to go. I mean, we have a bunch of freeze dried foods, but I think just, I mean, canned foods, as long as they don't get rusty or dented or swollen, they're good for years past the best by dates. That was a disgruntled employee, Nick, who was being ran out of the company talking shit like that. And there is not an owner of Campbell's. That belongs to Pepsi or Coke or somebody like that. That's just part of a gigantic corporation. Yeah, I'm not doing pears. I'm not doing fruit that has been sitting in a, an oven for half its life and a freezer for the other half of its life. I mean, you can't let the stuff get cooked and then freeze and then cooked and then freeze. That's going to ruin everything. Caveman, 20 amp for receptacles. Yeah, 12 2 is what I ran. And 14 2 wire for the lighting. I don't have a problem running 14 for the light. I'm going to have all LED light, low wattage LED lights anyway. So I don't have a problem with running 14. Um, but all the receptacles, everything like that are 20. Or I run 12. I'm only taking 6 months of food to add, one due to space and two because. I understand because uh, I don't. I mean, don't you guys pay him extra to go buy food for you all anyway? These group food things. I would take care of me, and that would be it. One company advertised that they use lab products. They all do. They're all experimenting with everything. If truth be told, I guarantee you, it's not like Campbell's Soup would be immune. It would be the only company experimenting with stuff like that. I guarantee you, they all are. Come on, Buckeyes! I'm watching the game, guys. I'm sorry. Uh, yep. You know what, Kim? I mean, he's buying what he thinks will make good videos. That's what it's become, unfortunately. I would not be contributing any money for group food. I will take care of myself. End of story. I know. Ah, jeez. Yeah, I'll take care of myself. I ain't worried about nothing else or anybody else. You know, if I didn't have St. Bernard Acres and I joined a group like that and I was going to be part of a compound like that, I'm like, okay, this is my bug out location. That's all it is. This is not my family. You guys, all you other members, you have your spot. I have my spot. I will take care of me and mine. Uh, but we don't want to talk about Ed. This isn't an Ed channel. This is not the harp on Ed. Those days are gone. He's done. I wish his group the best, but it's a slow moving train wreck. Yep, unfortunately, you're right, caveman. I hope they all do great. I'm all, I try to defend the guy, and it gets harder and harder to. Normally take enough for 2 weeks, but it always lasts a month. Yeah. I could, I mean, I had Walmart bringing delivery out here last night, but I have enough food there. I could get stranded here for 2 or 3 weeks and not have, and just have the food out of my cabin pantry here and be fine. See, I wouldn't have a chicken coop in a group setting like that. That I think you could have a group chick. Everybody gets eggs from the chicken coop. That kind of thing would be a for the group, not one person getting all the eggs, right? You know, if everybody was getting the eggs from that chicken coop and all those eggs that people gave him or chickens that people gave him, then I would say, okay, the group can help buy the feed for them. You know, I would go that far, but I want to make sure if you're getting 10 eggs a day, that when I come for my monthly visit, I get a couple dozen eggs to eat. Uh, yeah, there's Kim. There's a whole lot to do that you don't even think about when you're building a cabin like that. Frank, what kind of internet do you have? I have Spectrum fiber optic. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I was off grid and I had fiber optic, high speed fiber optic cable, and TV at my off grid bug out location. How crazy is that? And it's pretty reliable too. I mean, I couldn't do live streams out here without it. Uh, I am new, so could you explain how you live in a cabin that I think is on the same spot as your new place? Are you moving in the new place in the new shed? All right, real quick, I'll tell you, bud. Good question. We bought this place 13 years ago. I built this cabin a few years ago. I don't live in this cabin. I still live in Wheeling, West Virginia. I'm building the house that we can all move into, but I stay in this cabin for the weekends when I'm out here working. When we started out here, I still worked a full-time job. So I knew I couldn't be out here all the time. I live 65 miles away from here. So the cabin, I'm here, 3, 4 days a week, different. Whenever I can get out here and do some work on the house, then I'm at the cabin. Um, but that's why we have it. Uh, Frank, it was kind of funny. I knew that Spectrum had been out in this area I would see them forever with their trucks running. There was some kind of program in Ohio with government money that every rural address had to have access to high-speed internet. So one day I got out here, in the mailbox was a postcard from Spectrum that said for $49 we'll come out and hook you up, and it's $49 a month for the first couple years. I'm like, well, hell yeah. So I called him, set up a time to meet the guy. I came out here. He comes out for Spectrum and he's looking around, right? He's looking up and he says, where do you get your power from? And I was like, you see them solar panels over there? He was like, oh, shit. So they had to come out and trench a line all the way down the road and then trench it up my driveway to bring me fire. They didn't charge me for that, but they run it all off the electric lines, and I don't have electric lines out here. So they did it. Uh, yes, the cabin will be, this will be a guest cabin when we move into the house. I'm still going to keep this and, finish it up. But this will be when people want to come and visit, you know. So I'm guessing the cabin you're sitting in is small, and that's why you were building it. Exactly. This is only a 12 by 16 cabin. It's got a big loft in it, but it was never meant to be our permanent home. It was meant to be for, originally, it was like a bug out location for us because I got the barn. I didn't need a big building to start with because I have a 400 or 4,800 square foot barn back there. So the house is built because Gail wants to move out here. If it was just me, the cabin would be more than sufficient. I'd be tickled to death with the cabin. But I have a wife and I have 3 dogs and 4 cats and a couple kids. So we got to, take all that into consideration. Uh, and I was happy with the solar power. I really didn't have an issue with that, but she's got to have power and everything. So that's why I ran the electric. Ernie, hey, what's going on, bud? I always wondered why they couldn't put generators in the wheels of an electric car to help recharge the batteries. Remember when you put the generator on the bike tire to keep, yeah, that would run the lights for it. The little wheel would go up against your wheel. I think they do somehow. Okay, man, that's so you are being watched. Yeah, yeah, more than likely. Yeah, I thought they did, Ernie. They do have that in the uh, hybrid cars. Oh, that's awesome, Frank. They came out here. Now, granted, it was only like 500 megabyte service. It wasn't ultra high speed. It was $49 a month. Then after that introductory period, it went up to 80 some dollars a month. And then it went up to 90 some dollars a month. So I called, I got something in the mail or an email or something said, oh, get, 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte service for only $100 plus 2 cell phones. Like, what are you talking about? So I called him, and sure enough, we got 2 new phones, uh, 2 gigabyte internet service, the phones and the phone service, all of it for $120 a month. And I'm like, I was damn near paying that just for the cheap internet. Yeah, I thought that, Red Rooster, I thought so. I got phone internet. Yeah, it works. But yeah, the cabin has been great. I love, and people talk about, oh, that, you got those buildings on blocks, and what about when the ground shifts and freeze and thaws? I understand how that works. This cabin I built 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's on those little round blocks that you buy, little square blocks that you put a 4x4 post in for a floating deck. That's what this cabin sits on. I have yet to have an issue with any settling or anything causing any problems. I have Frontier. Yeah, that's what I've got at home, Ernie. I got Frontier at home. Because I got so fed up with Comcast, and when Frontier came around and said, "Look, we can hook you up with fiber optics and this speed and this price," I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, hook me up." My only hope is Starlink. My Google Maps tell me to park and walk before I get to my cabin. I'll be damned. Yeah, the GPS when I was driving the cab, a lot of times would take me down the alley and tell me your destination is on the right. And I'd have to go to the end of the alley, turn right, go up to the street, and then back down the street to get to that address. Well, we've got Verizon phones right now. Um, and those, once those are paid off, where I can get rid of those phones, once those phones are paid off, then we're going to switch over to the two lines I got from Spectrum. That, I mean, I have two lines we don't even use, but it was cheaper to go that route and get the faster internet than, not get them. I still have a landline, same number. Through Comcast, they had that, Ernie knows this, they had that triple package thing. You got cable, phone, and internet. Well, for 9 years I had that, and a phone number. I never had a phone in the house, but it was cheaper to pay for the phone service in their package deal than to not have it. So for about 9 years, we had a home phone number, but never had a phone in the house. Rural internet was the new cash for Clunker's Cross. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right, K-Man. I never even thought about that. Yeah, I'm going to look into that thing with the they were talking about with the, because what it is, I'm going to tell you, let me tell you this real quick. You guys can give me your opinion on this. The whole idea with this streaming service, I kind of touched on this, I think. You're streaming everything, right? Back in the good old days, if you wanted to watch a movie, you went to Blockbuster and you rented the movie and you watched it and you took it back to Blockbuster, right? Well, then cable came out, and a lot of those movies you could get on demand on cable, one place. You could get it all. Now, if you want to watch a movie, you've got to look up on Google to see what streaming service has that movie if you want to watch it. And if you are subscribed to that particular streaming service, then you can watch that video. But you have to have all these different streaming services now to replace cable, right? It's making me yearn for the days of cable, you know? Like, I want one place to go for all of my entertainment on TV. We used to have that. Now we don't. All these streaming services, you know what they're doing? They're collecting information about you. They know everything you watch, when you watch it, right? Everything you do, they're just collecting information. That's what all this shit is. I have an antenna over the, yeah, absolutely, Kim. You're 100% right. I will, Ernie. I'll get in touch with you. What's up, Tim? I see Frontier trucks, but I don't know how it would work. The old phone lines. They don't use any of the phone lines. They'll come down those poles with their own fiber optic cables and bring it in. Yeah, I have some free ones, but it's just, hey, Louis C46. I have Mediacom, canceled cable because I wasn't watching TV. Have high-speed internet. Fiber is coming in December. Yeah, fiber I love. Are you new? No, I'm not new. Kind of old, actually. But yeah, I mean, it's and now Netflix bought what they own. They're going to own everything. Off-grid suburban DVDs for off-grid can't be traced. Okay, you know what? And you're right. You're absolutely right. That's another thing I heard about. And my son was telling me about this. Right, I have probably 300 or 400 DVDs of my movies. Part of the things with these streaming companies that own all of these movies now that you rent from them, you never, you got to go with Prime. Half of the shit on Prime that you want to watch, even though you're a Prime member on Amazon, you still have to rent the stuff. You never own it. You never get it, right? And they are altering movies. The classic movies that we love, they altered them now. So you're not even so Nick's like, get all the DVDs you can of all your favorite shows and movies, because they can't be altered. And like you just said, you own them. No commercials, no streaming, nothing. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they bought Warner Brothers. It's like lead paint. Yep. 1 second. Our new house is 750 feet off the road. Check on getting internet, and it was already going by the house. It was 500 feet free, so we had to pay to run about 250 feet. Okay, fortunately I didn't have a limit. Malachi, I got a lot of DVDs, old computer games, and books. See, that's going to be in the SHTF. That's why you got to have more room down there, Malachi's corner. That's going to be your entertainment after SHTF. New computers and new autos don't have DVD. I know that. Gail bought me a new computer, an early Christmas present. There's not even I haven't had a computer in 5 years got DVD drive. But this new computer doesn't even have an SD slot. I have to have something external for they don't even have those in them now. Movie night at the Pavilion. I like that. If you can stand the smell. That's funny. My thing is MP3. I ripped oldies to play in the car and pick up. Yeah, I've done that too, Oscar. Or old Roscoe. Absolutely. Yes, I remember when cable first started, uh, you bought it because there were no commercials. You didn't have to watch anything. Now you got to pay for streaming, and if you want streaming without commercials, you got to pay extra, and you still get ads. Come on, Ohio State, get over your nervousness. Wow, what a great run. Sorry. No, I'll stay in my shed, thanks. Uh, yeah, I got to hook up with you on that, Ernie. I got to figure that out. I'll come over and see you, and you give me lessons in that. I remember being I was in Corpus Christi, Texas, down in Flower Bluff, and my sister got HBO when it came out. This was back in the 70s. I think the late 70s. And the very first movie I watched on cable was King Kong, the one with Jeff Bridges and what's her name in it, that version of King Kong. But I remember sitting there watching a boxing match on HBO, and they went to the corner in between rounds. They didn't go to commercials or anything. They were in the corners. And you got this one manager yelling at his boxer, "Get out there and break his effing neck." I'm like, oh my God, they said that on television. I remember that so well. The first time I never thought I would hear a word like that on television. You have Lisa. You have ads for movies at movie theaters. I did not. I haven't been to a theater for so long. I was not aware they were doing that. Holy crap! Come on, Ohio State. Second and goal from the 4. Get in there. Oh man, flag. Jeez, false start. Oh man. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore either. I have it on. It's good to have it on at home during the day because the dogs are all napping and they hear all these noises and go crazy. If they're napping and the TV's on, you got that white noise in the background. I don't watch the news anymore. I gave up on that. I mean, Gail sits there and watches it, and the entire time, if Nick's still in here, he can attest to this. Uh, Come on, get in there. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Get out of there. Go. Throw it. Touchdown. Yes. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Uh, Nick can attest to this, right? Gail will sit there and watch Fox News and yell at the TV the whole time the news is on. She's yelling about shit. And I'm like, I don't even bother with any of it anymore. One second after. Never put all your eggs in the same basket. Dig your own separate hole. Absolutely. Best advice you can give. That was good to watch. Well, cutting down edibles as they think they're weeds. Yep. I rarely watch TV. Yeah, I get my news, I mean, I get alerts on my phone of news, and I have Fox and Newsmax, they're on my phone. I can go look at the headlines. If it's something that I need to know more information about, I can research it on my own. I don't need a celebrity on TV telling me their opinion or what I should think about a story. And that's what it's become. I mean, there's no journalist anymore. It's entertainment and it's propaganda. They're telling you what the government wants you to hear. So if it's a headline that I want to research some more, I'll do my own research. I don't need the TV. I don't have Fire Stick, and that's what I want to get. I just have, I got my fiber optic and I got all the streaming services. Some of them are free, some of them we pay for. While you still can, I mean, like Alex pays for one and shares it with people. I pay for one, Gail pays for one, and we all share them back. So we have a selection of them. Arkansas Prepper, welcome, my friend. Have not had a TV for 10 years. All right. I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy reading better. But I like watching, like, the Big Ten championship here. Uh, oh, man, I thought he caught that. Wondering if you have used Linux instead of Windows. I have. I did it back in the day when I was into computers. The simplicity of Windows now, that's what I got. You know, I was building computers and using computers back in the days of DOS, before there ever was a Windows or anything. I used to have Linux. the Sun workstations that I ran the printers with, where I used to work, were all Linux based. I just don't, right now, I don't do enough on a computer to, you know, Windows on this laptop does what I need it to do. Uh, I got DOS. I miss watching the live weather during tornado season. Oh yeah, that could be fun. But you can watch that on your phone now. I got, you go to the Weather Channel. I mean, I have for TV, regular TV, like to watch the games and stuff. I have YouTube TV. I think that's the best bang for the buck, if you will, to have all the ABCs, NBC, CBS, Fox, all of those channels plus a bunch of other channels on YouTube TV. It's kind of like cable. Windows 95 and Windows 10. Actual, I did a video on how I got into computers back in the. I got my first computer, I think, in 1979. No, 1980. I was a cutter, paper cutter at the company I worked for. And I had asked them how you could move up in the company. And the guy said, you can't. This is a family owned business and you're going to be a paper cutter forever. So I noticed one day that a couple of PCs, they were Epson 8086s they bought. If you remember back in the day when Epson made computers. And what I did, I bought a computer off of my sister. I took the software home, learned what it was and how it worked. Then I went back into work and started teaching them how to use the computers they had bought. Well, that was my start of moving up into management at the company. But yeah, I mean, I was around for Windows 3.1. We ran, our company ran on an IBM mini mainframe, an AS400. But our machines, our inkjet and addressing machines and everything ran off of DOS. So I had to write TCP IP software in order to get the AS400 to communicate with the inkjets. I mean, I had to find TCP IP stacks for shit. What I had to go through back in the day for computers. So today, I like not having to do any of that kind of stuff. I did it all. Teresa, am I live? Yes, you are. I need to upgrade my computers. I cannot load Windows 11. Yeah, I tried to do a live stream from home on Gail's older HP, and it wouldn't do it. She bought me that new computer, and I'll use that at home. And I set up my live stream Wednesday night for SBA prepping and survival. It was flawless, just was perfect. Oh man, writing code lines so things will work. Yep, I hated that shit. I used to have to write all this PostScript code to make the printers work. And I hated PostScript. Hated it. I would write in Fortran. I would write in Cobalt, C++. Remember C++? I hated that shit. I'll be damned. I don't know why, Teresa. That's YouTube for you. That's what they're doing. God, C++, yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. I used to be a real smart person, let me tell you. You know? And I think it was good too. I don't mean to brag. It's just going to sound kind of funny. But if you think about it, going through that, I think, and having to learn, we had when we first got into the big variable data laser printing stuff back in the early 90s, and we bought Xerox stuff, uh, we had a guy that ran our graphics department. And we sent him to school to learn Word Perfect, Photoshop. There was no Microsoft Office back then. So you had the database programs. We used Quattro Pro, Word Perfect, Lotus 123. Well, we sent him to school and sent him to Xerox, learn how all this stuff works. I wasn't involved with it at the time. I was just a production coordinator. We came out of a meeting. We had a production meeting every morning, and that department that Nick ran, we had a job for the eye place. I forget the name of it. But we had every day had a list we had to mail out for them of customers that had called in. Well, come to find out, he was like a month behind. And it's like, holy shit, we came out of that meeting and like, I'm glad I'm not Nick, to be a month behind and nobody do it, right? So Tom, who owned the company, was walking down the hallway and he came to my office, right? And he looked at me and he said, you get your ass back there and you get Nick on a schedule and you guys work this weekend and you figure out a way to get this thing caught up. Right? I'm like, okay. Totally was not expecting that. So I went back to the laser department and I said, Nick, we got to work this weekend. If you show me what to do, we'll get all this stuff done and we'll get everything caught up like it's supposed to be. And he said, you ain't my boss. I'm like, Nick, I'm not trying to be your boss. I'm trying to help. That's all I want to do back here. Well, he got mad and he quit. And he's the only guy that knew how it all worked. So I went back to the owner and I'm like, dude, Nick just quit. And Tom was like, well, you made him quit. You figure it out. That's how I got into that. I mean, I had to go back there. I called Xerox. They were nice enough to come out. They spent the weekend with me and we figured out how to process all this shit and get all them letters printed and get everything ready to mail. But that's how I got into that. I got thrown into it. But I think that's what has helped me all my life to figure things out. Like that roof that everybody said was not going to work. I knew it was unconventional and it wasn't the normal way of doing things. But you know what? It worked. It's doing what I need it to do. It's exactly how I planned it. And I think that helps. Hey, Hoss, what's up, bud? I'm just talking. I got to look now, see who's in the room, and try to get caught. I get off on these things and I start talking. Do I need to load more storage? I don't know, Arkansas Prepper. I refuse to pay for TV in any form or way. I try not to. Red Rooster, my guess is I guess corner, try to get Xerox printers to work on DOS machine. Yes, indeed. Red Rooster computer you have isn't configured for Windows 11. Yeah, it's all in the computers. I miss my Atari game. Yeah, we had all that. Hey, Hoss, is it just my taste buds? To me, the most of the meat and produce you get at the store in the last 5 years. Oh, it's absolutely lower quality and lower taste. They don't care anymore. We're buying it overseas. Lisa, Joe, you're always going to have naysayers, Joe. They can't help themselves. Absolutely, I agree with that entirely. I love making the videos like I did. You commented on it yesterday too. Like yesterday, say, look, it works. You know, and they're still out there saying, no, that's not going to work, even though I show you it's working. But I don't care. It just makes me more proud. Uh, any idea how artificial intelligence will change our lives? Yes, it will destroy our lives as we know it. AI is going to change the entire, this will be a planetary change. It's going to happen. It will make our electric bill. Oh, absolutely. Did you get your electric bill yet, Ernie? I can't believe how much it's still costing in winter. I have gas heat. I don't use any electric during the winter. I got my electric bill. It used to be I'd get a $200, $300 a month electric bill when the air conditioner was running and it was 90 degrees outside. Well, normally in the wintertime, that electric bill would drop down to $70 or $80. That's what I'm used to. I got my electric bill, it's $178. I'm not using any electric. But they just keep raising and raising and raising and raising the rent or the rates. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. It is. They're wanting more. They went to the Public Utilities Commission again to get another raise in rates. Yeah, Red Rooster, you're 100% right. AI is already here. It's already doing its thing. It's just learning more and more and more. The only good thing with AI and all these data centers going in all these cities, right? The only good thing about that is it's making me out here in the country, my property value keeps going up because that's not affecting me yet. See, mine was always cheaper in the winter because I have gas heat. I don't have electric heat. But I don't think it matters anymore. Ohio, yeah, Ohio is, they gave themselves away. Yeah, and the water's going up 30%. Yeah, because they got to fix the poo factory. Yeah, we're being totally priced out of our out of life is what's happening. You know, I read a thing about what's happening in the housing market, and this is how they're working it. Right, BlackRock will go into a neighborhood. Right, they will buy in this neighborhood. They will buy 10 houses at double the asking price. Right, buy 10 of them. They want 300,000 a piece. They pay 600,000 a piece for them. Then they take those properties, right? You have a house that's valued at $300,000. BlackRock comes in and gives you $600,000 for it, and they buy a few others for $600,000. Guess what? All of the value of the houses in your area have now up $600,000. That's what you're paying taxes on. That's what you're paying insurance on because they raised the property values to where you can't buy in that neighborhood. But the second phase of what they're doing, they paid $600 for that house. They sell it to one of their shell companies for $1,000,000. Well, now what happens to all that? Because that they value all the other houses based on what the highest sale is, right? So they sell 4 or 5 of those houses for $1,000,000 to themselves. Now the value's up to where nobody could possibly afford it, and then they're going to rent it to you for $2,500 a month, because you would have to pay $4,000 a month if you wanted to get a mortgage for that. Hi, Susan. Long, I said, yeah, it's going to be rough next week. Now, the next scam is no property taxes, but it's across the board. So now no businesses pay property taxes, and the only way to make up the difference is through income taxes and sales taxes. You're right. Everything must crash very soon. Kill Switch says everything must crash. There's no other way, so the new system can come in. You're right. We have to take it. Has to crash. It has to come down. That's the only hope we have. But we have to do it fast. You know, I think if there was something we could do in the next, 12 months to totally crash it, then we would be in charge, being able to bring it back to something like it used to be. Beyond that, if it crashes on its own, we are powerless then. We're just going to have to live with whatever they decide is the new normal. Everybody's going to double, trust me. They all say they want to get rid of property taxes, Bill. That's the campaign shit. They all talk and talk and talk and talk, and nothing ever gets done. I want to see it. That's what I was saying. Okay, Trump, great job. You saved, $6 trillion. Okay, that's $6 trillion that the government stole from us. Give us back our $6 trillion. You stole it, give it back to us. We're never going to see that shit. They just talk and talk and talk and talk. Because, oh, good, Trump's going to send us $2,000. You're never going to see that $2,000. Another BlackRock scam is to buy up the local market. Then they close the stores. Now you have to drive longer distances to buy food. Then your property value goes down, and they buy it up cheap. I don't think that's BlackRock's thing. Old Roscoe. Who do we owe the debt to? Who are we paying it to? Don't pay it. What are they going to do? Foreclose on us? That's something I don't understand. Is why do we owe out in interest more than they take in? It's like, quit paying it. Nobody's going to foreclose on us. The whole national debt thing is a friggin' joke. Kill switch. Absolutely, bud. That's a great statement. Trump is putting on a show till the big event is ready to happen. The deep state owns the debt. There's already breadlines. They really are. It's not on the news, but we are facing a crisis, because they gloss over everything now. They don't tell you the real stories, you know. It just, it's so sad. Yeah, that SNAP is the new bread lines. Absolutely. You know, I hope people learned from the whole SNAP fiasco. That's how much control the government has over this country. They want to start the fighting and the collapse of society, cut off all the welfare and food stamps. In 90 days, half of this country will die because everybody's going to be stealing all the food and everything. That's how easily they could fire this thing off. Lots of layoffs, lots of folks at the food banks at work. We now have free food, bread every. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to tell people. All I can tell people is get yourself some property somewhere, get a garden going, and get ready. Stock up as much as you can. It's hard. It is so hard. I can't build my house. Gail came out here today. We went to lunch at Denny's, right? Because we don't ever get to go. We used to get to go out a lot, right? Once a month, we could go to a restaurant now and eat, right? Denny's one today. That's how bad it is. It was exciting to get to go to Denny's for lunch today. And with my AARP card, I got 15% off anyway. A cheeseburger. I got the bacon avocado cheeseburger because it was really good, right? 14.99 for a cheeseburger. I got a cheeseburger and onion rings. Gail got the turkey thing, turkey sandwich and french fries. We drank water. We don't even buy sodas anymore at the restaurants. We just get a glass of water, right? It was $30 just so that us two old people could go enjoy a sit down meal somewhere was 30 friggin' dollars. Yeah, I mean, you can't afford it. Thank God Nick works it. We've been eating pretty good. I got some good prime rib lately because Nick gets the stuff from work and he gets to bring home sometimes some of it. I agree with the commodity program should be brought back. And you know what? This is not a new problem. What's happening with the Somalians in Minnesota, all the fraud, all of this is nothing new. I can tell you from my childhood, we lived in California and we were on food stamps back when you got the coupons and everything. And it was my stepdad and mom and us kids and my sister and her husband Frank, right? We lived in this apartment and we had a refrigerator. This is how it worked even back in the 60s. This is how it worked. We had a refrigerator that when you plugged it in, it made all kinds of racket for about 30 seconds and then it worked fine, right? So my stepdad called the welfare department and said our refrigerator didn't work, right? Lady came out, they unplugged the refrigerator. Lady comes out to look at it. They plug it in, it makes all that noise and unplug it. She says, okay, writes him a check to go get a new refrigerator. They went and cashed the check and went fishing. So even back in the 60s, there was all the fraud. That's how it has been forever. There's no oversight. Off-Grid Sperm Project. Shot a thumbs up. Thank you. Oh yeah, everybody give me thumbs up. I don't even see anymore in the new interface. I don't see thumbs up or how many people are in here. I don't know if anybody's in here or not. It might just be the few of us. Oh yeah, hyping thing. I was reading about that. You know, hype some videos. I don't know what that does, but hype some of my videos. You know what? Whether I made money off this or not, I'd still do these live streams because they're fun and I get to rant. 63 people watch, 50 thumbs. Oh, 50 thumbs up. Yes, all right. And 60 people still in here. These live streams are growing. We got to keep this going, folks. Yeah, my uncle drew food stamps from 2 states and worked as a parent. Yeah, they were doing it all the way back then. They just made it easier to do it, that's all. All right. You're going viral, Joe. I don't see that happening. Time for me to run. Hey, thanks, Red Rooster. You have yourself a good evening and be safe, my friend. I'll be putting up a video, I think, tomorrow, tearing down walls inside the new house if it warms up enough. But yeah, I got to get off here too. I was supposed to be off here 30 minutes ago. See how much fun I have doing this? We get to going. We got to do every Saturday night. It's going to get better and better. It really is. We have a lot of good discussions. Oh, the Dr. Pepper fun. I forgot. Thank you, Malachi's Corner. Yes. Thank you. I need that. Yeah, I'm going, by the way, I'm going to Gary's property with him in a couple weeks. Well, next weekend we're leaving. I probably won't get to do a live stream Saturday night. We're heading down to Gary's. I'll be down there for a few days with him. So you guys will get to see video of me down there helping Gary out finally. I've never been down to his place in Alabama. I can't wait to get down there. And then figure out a spot for me to have a cabin. That's going to be my bug out location, Alabama. We lived in an apartment complex. All the divorced women were on pills. And, oh, yeah. Yep. It's all about the pills. How to buy Dr. Pepper. Yep. Now I can go get Dollar General. I noticed had 12 packs on sale. I think 3 for $10. Malachi's Corner just bought me 3 12 packs. How about that? Yeah, the Bama Breakfast Gang. Yep. But yeah, it's about an 11-hour drive down to his place, and I'll be truck camping for the weekend. So he'll be in his little. He built like an 8x12 shed, or 8x8 shed, something like that, to keep some stuff down there. He'll be sleeping in that, and I'll sleep in the back of his truck, in the camper, his truck. So I did be in my sleeping bag and cot and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then tonight he tells me I got to help him cut down trees and stuff. I'm like, no. You expect me to go down there and work? Like, I thought this was going to be a vacation. No, I got to go down there and work. But it'll sure be fun. Okay, you can recycle and get 5 cents. Yep. Oh yeah, it'll be a blast down there, man. I'm so looking forward. I've been wanting to do it for so long that it's about time. Anyway, I got to get off here, folks. 10-3, Ohio State is winning. Second quarter, 4 minutes, 45 seconds left. Ohio State has the ball. Go Buckeyes, Big Ten championship. So it's time. Haas. My big treat is on Wednesdays at a family-owned restaurant. Fresh chicken wings are 75 cents. All the complimentary bread and butter all you can eat. I got a sweet tea with unlimited refills tonight. Yeah, that's good. If you can find a spot. Now, Gail's got some kind of game she plays or something on her uh, phone that she does all the time, and with receipts, yeah, I have to give her every receipt. But we get these $50 gift cards for Texas Roadhouse, and we can go to Texas Roadhouse once, every couple months. I love their shrimp and steak. Uh, yeah, we'll do it that way. Does Gary have a channel? Yeah, but he doesn't get to put much up. He's still working. It's in its infant stages. We're going to work on that this weekend where we're down there. Uh, but yeah, for Christmas, I told the boys, I've told my friends and family, I don't want any gifts for Christmas. I need gift cards for a toilet, a shower, a vanity, plumbing supply. Just get us that. I don't need anything else. I got to get this place ready. That's all there is to it. I got this sense of urgency that I know a lot of people are getting it as well. But thank you, everybody. This has been a blast. I absolutely love it. You guys are a blessing to me. And remember, be safe, everyone. Keep prepping. Keep alert. Watch yourself at all times. Peace out, everybody. I'm out.